Okay, guys, we're going to go over the 6-2 rotations and basic rules of staying in rotation in a 6-2. So, as you can see here, we've got a court, and I'm going to use this extra player that's off the court as my cursor so you can understand what I'm talking about. So, we've got the net up here, 10-foot line, 3 back row players, 3 front row players, okay? Take note that each position is opposite of the other person playing that position. So I have setter 1 in back right, and front left will be my other setter. Back left is outside hitter 2, front right, outside hitter 1. And then we've got our middle and our libero also opposite, okay? So there's some rules we have to obey in each rotation, okay? Just like this, we just rotate, just as if we were going to do the old version where we rotate in a circle, right? So if you're in the corner, in any of the corners, you have 2 people you have to obey rules to, which is, let's say it's setter 1, who's Lola, according to our key. You have to stay behind the person who's directly in front of you and to the right of the person to their left, right? So I got to stay on this side of the libero and behind the outside hitter. So Lola could come anywhere, even all the way up here, because she's not past the libero and she's not in front of the outside hitter, and still be obeying rotations if we wanted to start her up there for some reason. So same thing. Anywhere over here is completely legal. And then as soon as the ball is served and touched and the play starts, anybody is technically allowed to go anywhere. This is just how we have to start certain rotations at the beginning of the rallies, okay? So same thing, this hitter can come all the way up here, got to stay behind that setter and to the left of the libero, and vice versa for these guys. In the middle, however, we have 3 people that we have to obey rotations to. The libero has to stay between the other 2 back row players and behind the person directly in front of them. So that would be the middle for the libero, okay? It's also vice versa for the middle, okay? It's got to stay between these 2 hitters and in front of this libero. So it could technically become all the way over here, all the way over here, anywhere in that area, and we're obeying rotation in rotation 1 technically. So we're going to manipulate this in certain situations to get people closer to where we want them to play most of their volleyball, depending on what part of the play is going on, whether we're in base, we're passing, we're setting, attacking, or in defense, okay? So those are the basic rules. Keep those in mind. We are going to go over serve and serve receive in rotation 1, 2, and 3 in this video, and then I'll tell you the cool little cheat code to it at the end to learn 4, 5, and 6. So I have a little key here for you guys to help you kind of figure out where you're supposed to be. I want my liberos / DSs to really pay attention to all these front row positions, especially middle and outside, because I might need you to play those positions at some point. Say if someone gets hurt or we don't have someone for a scrimmage on a certain day of practice, I'm going to need someone to step up and play front row. Okay, so just a little note. Let's go to rotation 1. Let's say we get to start we get to start with serve, okay? So we're going to go to serve. Lola's going to come back here to serve, right? We already have our libero in zone 6, where her base is, and we have our outside hitter playing left back defense, all right? So notice that what we're going to do in the front row is I'm going to leave you guys in rotation up here, okay? So technically Cherish, even though she's a setter / right side, by name, we can leave Cherish here to attack outside. My middle attacks middle, and my outside actually, my hitter 1 actually hits as a right side up here, okay? So let's say she serves. The rally goes on. Let's say it's a free ball-ish scenario, right? Remember, when we free ball, my setter is going to leave early. These 2 take over the back court all by themselves. Let's say it goes to the libero, and we all transition out to hit, okay? Let's say we set one of our hitters here and they hit into the net, we lose the point. All right, so now we're going to be in receive rotation 1. So we don't want our setter to pass, right? We want them to get up here and set as soon as possible. And if they pass and serve receive, that's a guaranteed way to be in a setter out scenario, which we want to avoid if possible. So what I can do to obey rotation and hide my setter is, remember, this setter has to stay behind this person and to the right of this person. So what I can do is, now we're receiving, I'm going to pull this outside back to hide Lola so she doesn't have to pass, okay? And now these two have all the balls that are going to hit the tape and barely roll over or drop really, really short. Remember, we're going to communicate in the back row and say short if we want the front row to take it. And then if not, let's say for sake of argument, our libero goes ahead and passes. As soon as the serve happens, Lola's going to take off, run up to the net, and we're going to start to transition because we saw that our libero was taking the pass. And then our hitter 1, who is Gabby in this scenario, is also going to come over here and get ready to transition to come attack right side, middle, and outside. Okay? Let's say we score the point. All right, so now we're in rotation 2. My setter moved from the right back to the middle back. Everybody moved clockwise, 1 rotation to get where they're at now, okay? Rotation 1, rotation 2, okay? So now I have Gabby getting ready to serve, okay? And notice that this is just a program, right? So everybody's going to have a little bit different rules for how they run stuff. Remember, I'm not going to have my libero playing left back defense for now. The way we play it is my libero plays zone 6 and my setter plays right back, right? Because this hitter is off the court to serve, nobody has to obey rules to this person now. If they had that, they have to obey it to that 1 or 2 other people that they already had rules to, but not this hitter, which means I get to cheat a little bit. Lola gets to already come over here to her base because she just has to be right of the libero. Pull over here, and then the libero gets to start in zone 6. This person, Gabby, will serve and then just run immediately over to left back base, okay? And now we're ready to go. Now I have an outside hitter hitting outside. Technically, Cherish is in the middle, and middle 2, which is Ava for this purpose, is here getting ready to hit C, all right? So let's say we served. They give us let's say they attack somewhere in the 10-foot line on their side, so we're not going to go up and block. It goes to our libero. Lola's going to leave, and we're going to run this offense just like normal. Everybody's going to transition off and go attack, okay? Cool. And let's say we hit into the net again, okay? So now we are receiving in row 2, okay? Now think about it again. I want to hide this setter. So what's a way I could do that with obeying all the rules? Remember, this setter has to stay between these 2 and behind that person, okay? So what I can do is I can push her almost all the way up here where we want Lola to set from. And I can pull this libero back to pass in the middle, and then I'll pull this front row outside back to pass, okay? So now, let's say the serve happens, libero gets the ball. We are going to transition, and then this outside hitter is going to transition from the back of the court to come attack, attack, attack. All right? We get the ball over, right? Remember, the outside actually plays left back. So as soon as we attack, outside's going to come to left back. Lola's going to come back here, and we're all going to get ready to see what kind of attack they're going to give us next, okay? All right, let's say we win the point, all right? So now we're in row 3. My setter so far has gone row 1 to row 2 to row 3. Everybody's gone clockwise. 2 positions now, okay? And I'm going to have my middle 2 serving, okay? So remember, we're serving, and so we have a half a second for them to play the ball out where we get to move to our base, all right? So my setter, we want to end up over here. My outside, we want to end up over here, right? So we We're, as pins, we're in the front or the more shallow part of the back row up here, right, in this area, okay? And my middles and liberos are kind of taking over this area, right? So row 2 serve, we're going to come up here and stack so that we can save as much time as possible. As soon as our middle 2 Ava serves and comes to zone 6, my setter and my outside can go to their bases in the back row, and my front row can get ready to read and see if we need to block, get ready for tips, things like that. And then we're just going to run it like normal. Let's say they return the ball. My middle / libero receives. We're all going to transition. Lola's going to run up here and set, and we're all going to attack like normal. So as you guys learn these rotations, there might be scenarios here where we have Gabby, middle 1, and Holland H2, okay? We know Holland wants to probably hit outside. Gabby likes to hit middle, right? So we don't have to stay here. We just have to start this rotation like this. So just the same as these two are going to talk to each other, hey, let's get to our bases, right? Which is the back row. I'm going to decide where our bases are. But as long as we can handle it, I'll let you guys talk about swapping spots up here. Okay, so let's say Ava serves. She's going to go to middle back. These two are going to switch. Holland and Gabby talked about switching so that they could hit in their desired positions. At the same time, these two pins are switching. And when Ava is serving, these two will switch as well. And now we'll play like this. Let's say my libero gets the ball. My libero / middle gets the ball. Now Holland gets to transition as an outside for an extra rotation. Gabby gets to play 2 rotations now at middle. And we have Cherish here hitting right side. So on the flip side, right, you could do it this way as well, because this is what serve looks like. These two are going to switch. Serve happens. Ava comes here. Let's say Holland wants to play middle for this rally. We can have Gabby and Cherish switch because Cherish wants to hit outside. Gabby can come over here and hit right side now. And now we play it out just like this. Middle receives, setter comes up. And this is how we obey rotations, and we can get away with playing in the same spot over and over again that maybe we prefer to do. So then we have rotation 3, receive, okay? Now that we're receiving and we've lost the point, Ava's going to come off, and we're going to put our libero in. And remember, we need to find a way to hide the setter one more time, okay? This is Lola's last rotation back row and serve receive. Let's figure out a way to hide her. So what we'll do, remember, Lola has to stay behind middle 1, Gabby, and to the left of, Zoe here, and to the left of Gabby, okay? So she can come all the way up here, and remember, she's only got to obey rules to these two, okay? Now I can pull this hitter to Holland, all the way back here to receive. She's got to stay in front of this back row outside and to the right of this middle, Gabby. So if she's going to come all the way over here to pass in the back row, that's going to push this middle over so she stays on the right. And then she has to stay just one step in front of Gabby to be obeying rotations. And now we have Lola all the way up here, almost to her desired spot to set, okay? Let's say Gabby gets the pass. Passes a nice, pretty ball all the way to the setter spot. Cherish is going to transition. Gabby's going to kind of hit a little loop here so that we can come attack a ball that is set as a 2. And then Holland gets to run up from the back row and attack for a 4. Okay? So it's really confusing. Go ahead and watch it as many times as you need to get it. Now, the great part about the 6-2 is in 4, 5, and 6, everybody is just switching with the other position, the other person that's playing their position. So everything Lola just did in rotation 1, Cherish is going to do in rotation 4. And then everything she did in rotation 2, Cherish is going to do in rotation 5, and so on. Okay, you're just going to switch spots. So if in rotation 1, let's say, that's a good example. Just look for who was playing your position in the front row. You're going to do what they were supposed to do if you were in the back row for the first 3 rotations. So go ahead and watch that back a few times, and we'll go from there.